Joining me is John Wilson, who is running for the Select Board in New London. So John, one of the things that interests me is New London has its election in May. Rather than the traditional town meeting day. They moved that some years ago.
Right.
And the good thing for a television station like this is we get another chance to interview somebody. So thanks for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's a chance for you to introduce yourself to the voters of New London that don't know you. Who are you and why are you running?
Well, I'm John Wilson, and I came to New London in 1971. Back in the early 60s, I had been up skiing in that area, and I became really enamored with New London.
Did you ski at King Ridge?
Oh yeah, King Ridge and Sunapee, and remember falling in a brook where the T-bar went across a little brook at Sunapee, and things like that. But I said, you know, this is the place I really want to live. But the only problem was I was in my second year of electrical engineering school at Cornell, and in the 60s and early 70s, there wasn't much opportunity in a small town.
There's not a lot of double E jobs in the New London area.
Right. So I went back, and while I was doing that, I took a pre-med minor, and after a few years in the Navy, I went to dental school, and then came to New London in 1971 and set up a dental practice, and retired from that 32 years later, and that's how I got there. But I have to say that the two best choices I've made in my life, I think, the first one was falling in love with New London and moving there. I've just enamored with the place. The second one was marrying my wife, Kitty.
I was going to say, you might want to switch that around. Maybe she loves New London too.
Well, she absolutely does. Chronologically, that's the way it went. So, and I would give them equal. And then soon after I retired, one of the people in the town government said, you ought to run for the budget committee. And so they said it's not much work. And so I did, and it wasn't much work at the time because we didn't do much. And I sort of got this feeling that that I wanted to do something. And so there were a few of us that I think made the budget committee do its homework and ask some questions and so forth. And
when was that when you first ran for the budget
committee? I think
committee?
It was 2004. Okay. I've been on it for 11 years now. That'd be 2015, yeah. Right? And I was chairman of that for 5 years, 5 sort of interrupted years actually. And during that time, you know, I learned more and more about the amazing attributes of New London. I mean, I thrilled to the place all the time. I live on a lake there, and I just think I've died and gone to heaven. But I also found that we had some problems too. That and some of them are, I don't know if they're endemic in small towns, but we have some projects and some major problems confronting us that we just don't seem to, we might peck away at starting them, but we don't finish them. And we keep sort of kicking the end, the finish line down the road. And some of these are starting to pile up, and I come home from meetings, and my wife, Kitty, would say, you're so frustrated. And I said, oh, it's driving me nuts. We're not getting these things done. And she says, Wilson, it's, you better step up and try and get someplace where you can do something about it. And I've shied away from doing things like this, but all of a sudden I said, well, I better give it my best shot, and we'll see what I can do. And so I'm doing it.
Well, that's great. You know, we're almost out of time in this. I want to talk about those things, the goalposts that are moving and the projects that need to get done, but we're out of time right now.